Hello everybody, I'm Jessica Keegan and I'm back for First Chapter Fridays. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to be reading Max Einstein, The Genius Experiment by James Patterson and Chris Grabenstein. Here's a quick synopsis. Max Einstein is not your typical genius. She hacks in the computer system at NYU to attend classes. She builds inventions to help the homeless. She's homeless. And she talks to Albert Einstein. Okay, that's just in her imagination. So tune in, and here comes Chapter 1 from Max Einstein. The stench of horse manure woke Max Einstein with a jolt. Of course! Even though she was shivering, she threw off her blanket and hopped out of bed. Actually, it wasn't really a bed. More like a lumpy, water-stained mattress with frayed seams. But that didn't matter. Ideas could come whenever they wanted. She raced down the dark hall. The floorboards, bare planks laid across rough beams, creaked and wobbled with every step. Her red hair, of course, was a bouncing tangle of wild curls. It was always a bouncing tangle of wild curls. Max rapped her knuckles on a lopsided door hanging off rusty hinges. "Mr. Kennedy!" She knocked again. "Mr. Kennedy!" "What the?" came a sleepy mumble. "Max, are you okay?" Max took that question as permission to enter Mr. Kennedy's apartment. She practically burst through his wonky door. "I'm fine, Mr. Kennedy. In fact, I'm better than fine. I've got something great here. At least I think it's something great. Anyway, it's really, really cool. This idea could change everything. It could save our world. It's what Mr. Albert Einstein would have called an aha moment." "Maxine?" "Yes, Mr. Kennedy." "It's 6 o'clock in the morning, girl." "It is? Sorry about the inconvenient hour, but you never know when a brainstorm will strike, do you?" "No, not with you anyway." Max was wearing a floppy trench coat over her shabby sweater. Lately, she'd been sleeping in the sweater under a scratchy horse blanket because her so-called bedroom was, just like Mr. Kennedy's, extremely cold. The tall and sturdy black man, his hair flecked with patches of white, creaked out of bed and rubbed some of the sleep out of his eyes. He slid his bare feet into shoes he had fashioned out of cardboard and old newspapers. "Hang on," he said. "Need to put on my bedroom slippers here." "Because the floor's too cold," said Max. "Huh?" "You need to improvise those bedroom slippers because the floor's cold every morning, correct?" "Maxine, we're sleeping, uninvited, above a horse stable. Of course the floors are cold. And in case you haven't noticed, the place doesn't smell so good either." Max, Mr. Kennedy, and about half a dozen other homeless people were what New York City called squatters. That meant they were living rent-free in the vacant floors above a horse stable. The first 2 floors of the building housed a parking garage for Central Park carriages and stalls for the horses that pulled them. The top 3 floors, as far as the owner of the building knew, they were vacant. "Winter is coming, Mr. Kennedy. We have no central heating system." "Nope, we sure don't." "You know why? 'Cause we don't pay rent, Max." "Be that as it may, in the coming weeks, these floors will only become colder. Soon we could all freeze to death, even if we were to board up the windows." "That's not going to happen," said Mr. Kennedy. "We need the ventilation. All that horse manure downstairs stinking up the place." "Exactly. That's precisely what I wanted to talk to you about. That's my big idea. Horse manure." So thanks for tuning in for Chapter 1 of Max Einstein, The Genius Experiment by James Patterson, and for joining us for OSD Go Reads First Chapter Fridays. And I hope you check out this book. Thank you.